I'm going to be real brief. I don't want to come out here and blow my own horn. I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot.
Before we get into this, make sure you give a like and subscribe to One Nation Hip Hop TV. They give great content on our favorite classic hip hop songs and singles. And while we're at it, make sure you stream that Redman Muddy Waters 2, a sequel to a classic.
Breaking news to share with you. Dr. Travis at Winnington Insane Asylum has just reported a dangerous patient has escaped. The asylum has released video footage. We've heard this is his 12th escape. His name is Reggie Noble, last seen in Newark, New Jersey.
And my thing is that this is our first look at Redman. Well, no. Yeah, no, Headbanger was our first look at Redman, the posse cut from EPMD with the whole hit squad, but this is his first look as a solo artist. And it was just next level, man. It was something we never seen before.
If you have any information on his whereabouts, please contact the local authorities.
I rule the world like Curtis Blow with my afro blowing out. I'm tone out the frame, drunk style stagger like Ned the Wino. For black albinos, I'm like suicidal on vinyl. The type of antidotes you have to keep away from minors. And I'm the bombest rhymer. Check my steez, my vocals are like vaginas. Wetting them seas when they open. My identities blows facilities. To enemies, please test these abilities. I'm rugged, plus pack a plenty full studded.
In the 80s and early 90s, it wasn't easy to break into hip-hop and get a record deal. In most cases, you had to pay your dues. Some MCs got on by being a hype man for local artists. Some had to carry record crates for DJs. Some MCs had to start off as backup dancers.
Okay, now I know you represent the East Coast, but...
Yeah, this is before the younger folks out here where you can just take your music and just upload it. You had to go out there and get your name out there and put in your legwork. You just couldn't just put out music and just luck up on a song. You had to be somebody. You had to have some type of juice to get on the mic.
Everybody doesn't know that you're not from New York. Why don't you tell the audience where you're from?
I'm from New Jersey, representing that great town.
Great city, right?
That's right, great city.
Okay.
Redman, repping Newark, New Jersey, definitely paid his dues before getting into the rap game. Being from Jersey, he was able to see local MCs already have albums, so the dream seemed more tangible. In the early 90s, the state of New Jersey had a lot of huge and up-and-coming talent. Naughty by Nature, repping East Orange, Queen Latifah, and Lords of the Underground, repping Newark, New Jersey. Redman was patiently waiting for his turn to shine.
Put the poor righteous
Redman would
teachers
start
up
his
in there,
introduction into hip-hop with the legendary, iconic Biz Markie.
Biz Markie, like, first of all, let's be very clear. Before I came to EPMD to sign me, I went to Biz Markie.
Oh. Okay.
And I asked him to put me on, bro, and he was with the Juice Crew at the time. He was like, yo, I don't got the time right now. I was like, all right, cool. So I maintained doing what I had to do. But he allowed me to come to his place of where he lived at to go through records, being a youngin'. And I wasn't even... So Biz was like, yo, let's just go rock parts. Let's go rock parties and shit. And he knew I had bars. And he set it up where I was battling people. So we was going from like all in New York. It wasn't even in Jersey. It was all through New York, from Manhattan to Queens to that bad. But at the end of the day, I was getting bread with Biz. He was putting money in my pocket. He was helping me,
Rest in peace to Biz,
build my foundation of who I was by getting noticed by people. And they went to go battle someone in Queens and they didn't show up. And so Biz was like, yo, let's just rock and turn the crowd out. So me and him just started tossing runs back and forth, and someone recorded it. So someone recorded it with their radio, and they sent it to Stretch and Barbito. And Stretch and Barbito
Now, if y'all don't know who Stretch and Barbito, legendary DJs out of New York. I mean, if Stretch and Barbito was playing your stuff, you was hot. You was fire.
Played that shit all fun.
So this sounded like a first appearance.
Yeah, it was like my first appearance, and that rhyme and that from that day circulated through the whole system of.
Seriously, I'm in a place to be, in a place to be without me. Yo, Red, I'm not with my man. Get on the mic and do the one kid. I get this. Ooh, this is a biz that made up checker 1, 2. Without the 3 and me, and I can sing. We're back to our first day of partridge in the dead tree. To the girls I want to.
Redman actually started off as a DJ. He DJ'd for Do It All, member of Lords of the Underground. They would go to Club Sensations in Newark, New Jersey, and this would actually be when things would turn around for Redman.
Let's just start with the Hit Squad and the beginning of Reggie Noble, Redman. It was like, you know what I'm saying, I bumped into Erick and them at a club, Sensations, you know what I'm saying, out there in Jersey. You know what I'm saying, some old ghetto club we used to all just, just be chilling at, you know what I'm saying? Right. So, I ran into them in the dressing room, with me and my man, and, it was like, yo, all right, everybody was kicking skills and kicking lyrics, da-da-da. I just kicked it, went on stage that night.
After Redman rhymed for EPMD, Erick Sermon started to invite him to perform with EPMD when they would travel for concerts. Redman would help with DJing and would get a chance to rhyme on stage with EPMD. This was major for Redman. Eventually, Redman started hanging out with EPMD so much that he actually started to stay with Erick Sermon. And this is perfect time for Redman. By this time, EPMD has already went back-to-back with gold albums, and we're now working on their third album, Business as Usual. Redman got a chance to feature on EPMD's album on 2 songs called Hardcore and Brothers on My Jock. These features on the EPMD album would only raise Redman's buzz on the underground scene. Q-Tip, a member of the legendary Tribe Called Quest, was a huge factor in Redman getting a record deal. Q-Tip heard some of Redman's music. Q-Tip had been at Rush Management offices.
Now, this is something I didn't know. I never knew Q-Tip. I knew about the Biz Markie, but I never knew Q-Tip had anything to do with it.
Is over at Def Jam. With Q-Tip pushing for a deal, Def Jam execs hearing the bootleg of EPMD's Headbanger that hadn't come out yet officially, featuring Redman. Redman was able to get a deal offered by Def Jam. Redman was now off to record his debut album titled Whut the Album. Red started recording in 1991. At the same time, EPMD was working on their third and most important album, Business Never Personal. Whut the Album was handled production-wise by Erick Sermon, along with Redman as a co-producer. Erick Sermon would do his best to help mentor Redman throughout the recording process.
The category of rap I put myself in is strictly, it's hardcore, definitely street hardcore, but it's also a funk hardcore. My image and the way I am will project a vision to yourself that, okay, he's not the one. I'm not just gonna write something just to try to please no one. I write what I feel, either you can like it or not. I'm not gonna sit down and try to create a song that'll make everybody jump, because what I write, everybody.
Erick Sermon would bounce back and forth to work on EPMD's album and Redman's album. When Erick couldn't be there for the recording process, Redman had a lot of time alone in the studio. The album would bring a lot of funk, representing P-Funk, Parliament. Now, Parliament was actually formed in New Jersey, so the seeds of the funk were already in Redman's neck of the woods.
I think you can expect to hear on my album is nothing but funk. Funk Parliament, funk George Clinton, funk everything, you know what I'm saying, all down. I don't mess with nothing else. I'm hardcore to my music. You know what I'm saying? I look at my music as an individual. You know what I'm saying? If it get tough with me, then I'm gonna get tough with the track. That's why my lyrics is
like the way because he ain't changed up for nobody. He didn't make no soft record across nowhere. That's the real deal. He came out like he usually come out hardcore, whatever, so-and-so, how it might be, and that's how they sold records. Then you let the people take.
I mean, shout out to Erick Sermon, man. That's one of our underrated producers, man. He doesn't get spoke up enough in those Dr. Dre's and Jermaine Dupri conversations, man. He did a lot of work out there, man.
You and of course you if you want to go that way, but you don't come in there making no type of pop record and then expect and then go and you know it's going to be pop and you're going to go pop. That's what Course No was all about, making a fake record, making a fake tune to catch another type of audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't make no soft tune to catch.
Erick Sermon would help shape and mold the album, giving Redman lots of advice. With this advice, Redman drops his first single, Blow Your Mind, in August of 1992, which would chart #1 on the hot US rap singles chart. The next two singles really put Redman over the top. Time for Some Action, released in 1993, and this would also go right to #1 on the hot rap single chart. The final single released for the album was called Tonight's the Night, which was a perfect balance to the harder singles he released previously. Tonight's the Night was so smooth that it got played from coast to coast. To this day, it's one of Redman's greatest songs he's ever recorded to date. The album also featured and would introduce the world to Superman Lover, which would become a series on future Redman albums. The fans loved the album. It was a huge success. Redman went gold, selling over 500,000 units. Redman would mimic the success of his mentor, Erick Sermon, as EPMD also was going gold. The album is classic and one of the best debut releases of all time.
And again, gold back then, 500,000 physical copies being sold. I mean, right now, these days, if a person does 80,000 streams, that's a good thing. These are 500,000 physical copies sold.
Redman received a 4.5 out of 5 mic rating in The Source. And if you're familiar with The Source magazine, that's extremely hard.
It was the Bible of hip hop. The Source was the Bible of hip hop. And 4.5 mics is fair because you can only get 5. So 4.5 mics is fair.
To do. Redman would also end the year as one of the top MCs in the game, especially with The Source. He would go on to get the Solo Artist of the Year in 1992, also getting the coveted hip-hop quotable for his verse on Headbanger, the EPMD song.
I leave MCs with back page notes. Splatter, all over your computer data. Coming at you like I'm crazy from the walls of that. Fuck up to all gays and niggas who claim they rough. Let's see who can go to any hood without getting stuck. High days on all, I'ma walk them off the wall and freestyling. I put money, okay, Solo and Jamal. From the Prince and the genuine GLE. Crazy, sexy, cool, kick like TLC. I got so much background information on these rappers. Claim they twist cap backwards, they only actors. My ballistics clip me on blocks, flipping biscuits. Getting split this, shipping no mystics, and it get no wetter. The 18th letter. In the bodyguard, I'm that nigga that tried to blow the boat on Fletcher. I'm like that when I'm in act like Jackson. Slam like Bob Black.
Now let's elaborate more. Because on November 22nd, 1994, Redman ducks what we call the sophomore jinx. Now people, the theory with the sophomore jinx is you have your whole life to make your first album. Now, once you get your first album and it blows up and you get rich, you come with your second album and you don't come with as much hunger as you had with your first album. Therefore, that's why a lot of people's second albums are not better than their first album. This didn't happen with Redman. As he releases his second album, which people consider a classic, There Is a Dark Side. Look, I can go for days just talking about Redman. We can talk about his work with Method Man. We can talk about his work with Keith Murray and Erick Sermon. We can talk about his features. But we're just doing the first album, the classic, but the album. It's your boy Smoke Dog, and even if I'm wrong, I want to be right. Light.